Aloha, soul family, soul ohana, Kapualani here with your timeless reading. So, whenever this should reach you, as always, take only what resonates, leave it behind, and just kind of remembering that this is a general reading. So, if it's not vibing, it's okay to just let it pass on by. Um, and I realize I'm going to go actually to our tuning fork just to open up space. So I'm going to chime my tuning fork 3 times here, allowing us a little bit of space to connect with the breath. So as you're breathing in, maybe breathing in deeply for a count of 4. And if you would like to hold it at the top for a count of 4 and then release, exhale with a ha or a sigh, just emptying your belly. And as you breathe in, setting your goals and intentions. And as you breathe out, releasing anything and everything that no longer serves. All right, so here we go. All right, just cleansing the space for us, cleansing mind, body, and soul. Let's dive into the cards and get our message for the week, for the day, for whatever, whenever this should serve. So, Spirit, what's coming through right now? What is the core of the message here? What do we need to know? What is the present energy? The Page of Rods. So, I wanted to say, new beginnings, because essentially that's what pages are about, right? The new. But I'm hearing news. So be mindful to messages, be mindful to the signs and synchronicities, and be willing to explore and to be adventurous in terms of trying new things. There may be some new experiences that are going to be presenting themselves to you, for you. I'm also getting that in some respects, there may be certain things that are feeling a little bit agitating. There may be certain things that, while I'm recording this, we are technically in Mercury retrograde, in Venus retrograde, and so there may be some hiccups along the way that feel like little snags in your plans or snags in your day or snags in the moment. And that's what I'm getting with this Page of Rods, is just kind of don't make anything more of it, is what I'm hearing, than just what it is. Like sometimes when you're walking and you're having a good day and then suddenly like you kind of trip up, it's like, oh man, it's like just kind of let it go, let it flow. Page of Rods. Maybe part of the message also is in slowing down a little bit. We don't really need to overanalyze, is what I'm getting, or again make more out of something than it is. So what is this Page of Rods about? Okay, wow. So right away we got this Two of Swords energy. So Two of Swords, Page of Rods. There's some things that, I'm getting on a mental level. There may be areas where you're feeling a little bit stuck at an impasse, not really sure what to think. I feel like whatever this new experience is, it may take a little time to get past any speed bumps or what may appear to be like blocks, roadblocks, or something like that. I'm vibing this Two of Swords kind of like being at a fork in the road, and we're not really sure which, path to take here. And so that's where we get this whole idea of, if this is a new experience, give yourself that freedom to just, again, explore, adventure, try to understand that this is a moment to be inquisitive, I guess you could say, and check things out, knowing that things are still in motion, that things are still in the works. Maybe this is a time to learn, to gather more information before making any kind of a snap decision. You may have to make certain decisions on the fly or in the moment, but in the overall grand scheme of things, part of what I get here, sorry, I'm going into a slightly different direction, but it's about getting out of your head, getting into your heart. There may be a moment of pause that's needed. There may be a moment of just kind of removing yourself from distractions, being in a more meditative state, holding space for more layers or more steps to come to you or to be provided for you. Okay, so I'm hearing it, more than anything, it's like we're trying not to jump to conclusions here, whatever it is, whatever it may be. I saw 456 on my timer just now. So, it's again, there may be certain things that even feel a little bit stalemated. And it's like spirits telling me these are just in the beginning phases. So again, do your best to just kind of settle yourself and not feel, even if there is, or it feels like there's a sense of urgency, it's kind of like, well, before we react, let's do our best to gather ourselves and educate ourselves, inform ourselves a little bit. So what can we do, Spirit? What is the guidance? What is the lesson? What's kind of what's our bottom line here? What's the lesson? What we're going through? The judgment energy. Okay. So, an aha moment. I'm hearing something about validation, whether it's a need for validation or that validation will be coming through. Judgment energy, aside from those revelations and having an enlightening moment, there will be something enlightening coming through, or this is a time for you to expand on your horizons in terms of, connecting to the higher self, connecting to your higher guides, connecting to Creator, the universe, spirit, in terms of that guidance, connecting to the ancestors, of course. And I say that, because I think about when we have judgment, right? Essentially, we're not seeing it exactly here, but this is Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel's trumpet. I just saw 626 on my timer as I was saying that. And it's about we're reviving the dead, or bringing back what was lost. And so there may be certain things that have been coming up for you, maybe from childhood, that maybe gave a few mental blocks as part of what I'm getting, or maybe you felt blocked by, and now you're having an understanding. And it may have had nothing to do with childhood, okay? Just recent events, new experiences that you can't quite, put together or understand. Where is this taking me? Where is this going? What decision do I make? You will have an understanding. Okay, there's going to be some form of a breakthrough from the divine that's being provided here, guidance from the divine that you're going to be receiving. Sometimes with judgment, it can also be seen as second chances, having a second chance at something. And I feel here there's new beginnings. This does not have to be, in some respects, what I will say, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, no, which is fine. Okay, it's fine. But when we talk about things from the past, of course, not only are we looking at just maybe issues, traumas, things from childhood that maybe you'll have some kind of a revelation, clarity, healing, understanding on, but even in past relationships, because again, we are in these retrogrades, right? So stuff from the past is going to be brought up. And so, if there is a past relationship, like maybe you've been thinking about an ex a lot, or an ex has been thinking about you, and even if it's not an ex, maybe someone from your past that it was like a missed connection or something like that. Maybe if you saw it that way, or the person saw it that way, some form of clarity or understanding, and maybe why things went the way that they went, why things like just didn't work out, if it is about an ex, and what lessons you've learned and that sort of thing. In some instances, okay, in some instances, and this is where it definitely is divinely guided and karmic, if life just continues to bring you back together with someone, or bring someone into your reality again, like from the past, things from the past that are being brought up, this person resurfacing, you crossing paths, things that come across your path that remind you of them, and vice versa, then maybe, there is something to it with this message for you. I can't say what it is just yet. We'll see what the rest of the cards are. But more than anything, with the heavier things that we go through, there's always a lesson to learn. I mean, in life in general, right? Whether it's heavy or not, it's about the experience and what you're taking from it, what you're taking with you. Okay, so what is this judgment card here to tell us, to show us? What is the energy around this judgment? What is that second chance? What is that revelation, perhaps? The High Priestess. So, judgment, I believe, and I could be wrong, but it may be Scorpio energy. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, or at least validate me. If you would, I would appreciate it. But the High Priestess, Cancerian energy. But we also want to kind of acknowledge Pisces and Scorpio as well. So there's a healing that's here. The high priestess is that go between, right? The known and the unknown, the mundane and the mystery, right? And so part of it is trusting your intuition. There is something here about expression, sacred expression of the spirit, and in trusting your higher self, trusting your instincts, allowing for, again, information to unfold before jumping to conclusions, before just making up your mind. There's also a protection here, or a protector. There may be a feminine figure, either living or on the other side, is what I'm getting, who is guiding you through this process, even if it's, your higher self, if it's an ancestor, if it's a guide that you go to in this life, like for a reading, spiritual healing, spiritual guidance, something along those lines. Okay, so definitely there's something karmic that's going on here. And I'm hearing again this word protection, or protecting yourself. And I don't get this in like a scary sort of way, but again, it's about just being mindful to what is being presented, because we may have a new experience, potentially a thorn in our sides, right? Possibly someone new possibly coming in. It's about not rushing into things again, all right? Not rushing into things, not jumping to conclusions, allowing for the intuition to guide you. There may be something or someone who isn't what they seem, because a high priestess can also be an indicator of, I don't want to say deception, but where you're really having to use your instincts to sort through whatever it is that's going on, okay, whomever or whatever. So what is the communication here from the high priestess, or what is it that's needing? Okay, so we've got death energy, transition and transformation. Wow, so triple, you know what I mean, Scorpio vibes big time, supposedly. So if you got Scorpio in your chart, Scorpio around you, significant, then maybe there's something more that's there to explore, to consider. It's okay if you don't, all right? I'm just putting it out there, but this death energy definitely, again, transitions, transformation, something coming to an end, and allowing for whatever was toxic, whatever hadn't worked out, whatever was creating confusion, whatever has been like a thorn in your side. There's some kind of a deeper karmic cycle that's coming to a close here, is what I'm getting. Things that didn't work out, again, undeveloped potential or potentiality, whether it's something that you saw for yourself, something that you saw in another person, like a relationship, a connection, something that you may have wanted, but that, again, it didn't quite work out. There's something bigger happening here in transformation, all right? And this death energy, again, I'm bringing up the ancestors with the judgment card that I was vibing on, allowing for your ancestors to guide you. So definitely there may be someone on the other side, very present to a feminine figure on the other side, who could be providing some guidance here and trying to support you in ushering in this new cycle or new life path or choice or choices that you're trying to make, that you're wanting to make, that you maybe already have made, but leading you toward, again, like, that word, those words, I should say, phrase, second chances, a revival, a renewal of something, of an energy, and also, again, revelation or some form of enlightenment coming through, and seeing that there's a whole new reality that really is underway. But before we get there, right, we got to close out and acknowledge what has not been working, what's not really resonating with our core truth. All right, so let's get some guidance. Outcome energy here. The Lovers, slightly, well, I mean, to be fair, right, did show up reverse, but I'm just going to keep it this way and get the downloads on this. I'm hearing missed opportunity, a missed connection, something that was not syncing up, wanting to graduate to a new level, or to, I'm hearing like a missed connection of some sort. All right, a missed connection of some sort, and maybe that was meant to be in a way, that it just was a misconnection. The Lovers, Gemini energy. Okay, what about this connection, or whether it was missed, whether there's going to be a second chance here? What do we need to learn from this Lovers energy, Spirit, and or just continue to give us insight into where all of this insight is leading us, where all of this is guiding us. Okay. Something coming back around again, something that you did not quite fully realize, or not just realize. Someone watching from afar is also what I'm getting, potentially an ex or someone that's from your past. Doesn't have to be an ex, could be a friend, could be just an admirer. Okay. Someone that you're not going to see coming. There's something coming back around again. Something or someone coming back around again. All right. I feel like something didn't work out again, whether it was a relationship, whether it was a job or a choice, like a relocation, something along those lines, like where it didn't work out. You're not really sure what's going on. There was some unrealized potential, right? In terms of saying, oh man, I really, I thought that this was going to go somewhere, or that something was going to last, or something was going to, whatever the case may be, there's going to be some form of, again, a second chance that's coming up, or some form of a do-over. And there's something else as well. If you are in some form of a new beginning, or some form of an enlightening moment, like I had said earlier, revelation coming through, this is something that you're going to want to maybe sit with for a while, because I'm hearing that you may have some regrets, and like a missed opportunity or something, where you're like, man, I wish, if only I had known this earlier, right? If only I had realized this beforehand, then maybe I would have made a different decision. That's where I feel like part of the opportunity here is just kind of forgiving yourself, and in just understanding that it all, not to sound like blase or typical or basic, but it's like it all happened for a reason. It's happening, and it did happen for a reason. And even if you feel a little upset about it, is what I'm hearing, it's gonna be okay, because it's not over. Like, not just, oh, that chance with that person, but a chance at love in general. Now, I'm not trying to negate it, all right? If it is that you wanted a second chance with someone specifically, but what, because there are some people that are just like, no, I'm done, I'm over it, I don't want to have anything to do with it. This is an opportunity to heal that energy, you know what I mean, so that there isn't that kind of a bite to it, if that makes sense. And so that's where it's, again, there's some kind of a transformation happening here. There may be something that you're not quite seeing. There may be something that maybe you're feeling like it's a new like, you know what I mean, you have this opportunity for a new beginning, but there's something there that needs processing. I feel like there's going to be clarity over, it's going to happen quickly over so many weeks or whatever, maybe within 30 days, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4 major arcanas here, a little bit, almost half and half, almost half. But with this 7 of Swords, it's like whatever it is that you're focusing on, that you're doing, you yourself may kind of feel like keeping stuff to yourself, keeping to yourself, just sort of withdrawing a little bit until you can gain a bit more of a grasp on what's going on, what it is that's that you're dealing with, that you're looking at, keeping certain opinions to yourself just to avoid arguments or confrontation, to give yourself some wiggle room to adjust to any kind of new experience, circumstance, situation, or even if it is, like I said, some sort of thorn in your side. It's more about just realizing, okay, I'm gonna just try to take control of myself in the situation by letting things unfold naturally, rather than just kind of, like, what is it, cutting and running, that sort of thing. All right, so I didn't mention this earlier, I'm going to mention it now. First, I'm going to pull a card from our Animal Spirit Guides book. I'm going to give some downloads just from what we receive here. And then, and I didn't say this, sorry guys, but if this is your first time watching, I do have an extension to this, a part 2 coming up, where I'm going to not only read the actual definition or show you what the actual kind of meaning in the book is here, we're going to pull more cards, get some deeper insights, clarity, guidance, advice on the current reading. We're also going to have a little bit of fun here. Going to pull some angel answers. So if you have a yes/no question that you'd like to focus on, we're going to pull angel answers, angel cards for that, yes/nos. And I always mention this. Thanks for your patience for my long-term subscribers, my beautiful long-term subscribers, or thank you for your support, but the romance angels. So whether or not you have a question about romance, if it's just something that you're passionate about, wanting guidance on, we're going to get some insight from the romance angels as well. So you can find part 2, the link for it in the comments below, in the description box below, at kapualani.com/extensions. All right. And you can also book a session with me if you'd like at kapualani.com. I have live readings and pre-recorded readings as well. And so if these messages have resonated, I do encourage you to check out the extension. It starts at $1.11. It's a sliding scale. All right. So very little to no risk almost. But at any rate, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking and commenting. If this has been informative, please consider subscribing if you aren't already, and consider liking this video, just to help grow, develop the channel, support it, and lets me know that I'm hitting the nail here in some way or form, hopefully. But also when you subscribe, it does help me to connect a bit more directly, deeply, clearly to your energy. So animal spirits, what's the message for today? What's the message for this reading? Thank you, animal spirits. Okay, we've got oyster. I feel like we've seen oyster before. So I'm getting like, the last time I feel like I said something like pearl of wisdom, and I think that may have resonated. But there's also this energy with oyster about, I feel like there's something in development, because a pearl, how it works is the oyster gets agitated by sand, right, inside of the shell, and there's this pearl that then takes shape over a period of time. Okay. And so with oyster energy, oyster medicine, I feel like, and another message coming up, are you climbing up? Remember what I said? There are certain things maybe you're wanting to keep to yourself. Maybe there are people, or at least a person, that you can go to for guidance in some way, for insight, if you have been needing some clarity, if there are certain details that have eluded you. Something is in development though, for sure. I get that something's in development with this oyster energy. I'm going to figure out where I want to put this oyster card. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, with this oyster energy, Spirit, what else do I need to kind of tap into here? I'm just going to kind of zoom in. No, there's something coming through, something that's in development, something that maybe initially, this does not have anything to do with the book, I know, but I'm getting the downloads here, that may take a little bit of effort, require a bit of time, but if you persist and follow through with it, you can and will sort of develop your own gifts or your own talents, your own pearl of knowledge, of wisdom, or even if it's an actual physical thing that you're working toward or working on. Some of it also is to keep going. Oysters also, like I believe, they cleanse and purify the water, right? And so part of it is, do you need some form of emotional cleansing or purification? Is that needed for your home space? Especially if you've been feeling or noticing weird little hiccups or snags, like I had said in the very beginning. This could be an opportunity to cleanse, and sometimes like, yeah, we gotta cleanse every day and blah, blah, blah. But that's part of just the message that I'm getting here. So I saw, I was going to say 2323, but anyway, I'm going to close up here, and I will see those of you who are interested in joining me in part 2, diving deeper. I'll see you there. Thank you so, so much for being here. I'm going to close this out just with a single chime to say thank you. But thank you, thank you, thank you. See you in part 2.